Welcome back to my channel Conquer the Fear. In this video, we are going to discuss about the Spring Boot Data JPA advanced techniques. Now, in other videos or another YouTube videos which you have normally been looking out, will only have the normal technique includes, which will include the entity definition, repository with CRUD repository or JPA, query derivation with method names like find by name or etc. Or you can have a simple query usage. Okay, but when I'm talking about advanced, right, so it will involve around deeply understanding how JPA interacts with the database, how we can optimize the performance, what are the complex way to handle the complex data models, writing powerful and maintainable queries. So here is the comprehensive the breakdown of all this particular advanced topic. So I will give you examples also. Watch this video till the end. Okay. Now the very first thing what we are going to discuss about this specification and the criteria. So these are the dynamic queries. Now this is advanced. Why I'm saying is that because the dynamic filtering based on the user inputs, right? So method names, the static query, etc. are not sufficient. Okay, so what you have to do is that we have to give the specification like reusable, composable, and the type safe logic we can include over there. Now under this there is a specification interface, the criteria builder, root, predicate is there. There is also a composable query like filter. You can actually and or you can use it. Integration with JPA specification executor. Okay. Now what are the scenarios basically? Now if you, let's say you want to filter the users based on multiple options fields, let's say name is there, age range is there, or location is there. Okay. Other scenarios are like you want to search orders by the status, date range, or total amount. Now you can also build the queries on a fly from the product API also. Let's say it's just an example. Now you can use multiple specification with and or also. So there is a combination specification with pagination or sorting. Now on the right side, if you see, there is an filtration of user, which is an optional field, let's say name, age, and city. Now under this specification I have given the specification interfaces, and then user is given under that, and then with filter, so I've added the name, a minimum age, and the city. But if you see, it is going to return the this one it is going to make use of the predicate, and then if you see, it is going to add that particular criteria, all the details. So the name logic is written over here, the minimum age criteria is written over there, ultimately is going to return that. So this is how you can actually use that, and you can make that. So yeah, if you see down right, the usage of this is that you are calling the find all method, and under that you are passing the user specification, the with filter method, and then you are passing the details over there, and you are giving the page request. So this is how you can apply this particular advanced topic over here. Okay, so the usage, how to use it, I have given you. The second thing is entity graphs. Now this is one of the fetching strategies, optimized one. You must have heard of n+1 problem, and how you can optimize by controlling the fetch behavior basically, right? So we have at the rate entity graph, like there is also a fetch type attribute path, name entity graph. You can use query for require method derivation, right? And now let's say you wanted to load user with its roles in a single query. That is one of the scenario. You want to load order with order items and all the products also. You want to define some reusable at the rate name entity graph. Now conditionally you can use different graphs for different use cases. Okay, there is a performance, I mean you can compare the performance when it comes to lazy loading versus the entity graph. Now at the right side, I've given you an example with how to fetch the user with the role eagerly. Now we have made use of the entity graph. Attribute is equal to role. Now I've given the method as find by status and going to pass the status. Now how to use this name graph definition? You can actually define the address name named entity graph. We can give the user roles over there. Okay, all these relative nodes, and then you can use it over there. I hope you are able to understand, and also I mentioned that this you won't find it any other videos. Projections and DTO mapping, this is one of the performance and the enhancement. Now you want to avoid some returning the full entries, right? We can only want to return certain set of data which is needed, so that is used for the, let's say for the REST API how we use it, right? So in that case we use it. Now there are some interface projections we can make use of. There is also a class based DTO projection like JPA or a native queries you can use. We can use of nested projections. SPL expression also is a one of the projections actually. Now in what scenario we will use is that, let's say you want to username, okay, or user email ID instead of the full entity ID. So that we can use of it, right? Map entry result to have some custom DTO class using the JPQL query. Now you can combine multiple entries into single DTOs. Let's say order is coming with user and the product info. It will have all this both information. You can have the nested interface projection also, like user projection can have address projection also to get the address and other details, phone number things, etc. Now you can use these projections with pagination and sorting like how way, right? Now as we already discussed, let's say for the interface based projection, we have to define an user view, okay, and then we have to write the field by active true, and then you have to map that particular class based DTO mapping. So order DTO will be mapped with that particular ID, name, and the decimal, and then you can also write the query over here. Now you can write the complex query over here for that particular fetch order over there. Custom repository implementation. Now this is not a simple one. This is going to be beyond the repository method which I have provided. Sometime whatever the business logic you want cannot be taken up or be expressed with the simple annotations or the query derivation. So you can implement your custom repository interface. You can extend your main interface with some custom logic. You can combinationally use with the JPA like QueryDSL is there, native QSL is there, and you can make use of the entity manager as well. Now what kind of scenario would require it, right? Now complex join queries with a conditional aggregation. Let's say you want to get orders with an average order amount per customer. You want to trigger some store procedure execution and you want to map that particular result. You want to use the entity mapping for the native queries and also map the results. You can actually perform some partial entity updates if efficiently in that way. Now you want to do some batch processing like insert, update, delete using some custom logic written by you. Okay. Now firstly you have to define an interface, the custom interface, then you have to define the method over there. Now how do you implement that? You have to implement the product repository and then have that particular persistent and entity manager defined. You have to override that particular method and have the implementation done over there, and then you have to call that particular create query method, and then you get the result over there. And then declaration, if you see in the JPA repository how we do that, similar way you do that. Now query DSL integration, this is one of the type safe query construction I would say. Now this is very ideal for the complex and the type safety query construction without let's say you want some raw data strings or manual predicate handling. So you have this particular Q class generated by the annotations, right? You have JPA query Boolean builder. You have dynamic query generation. You can integrate with Spring Data JPA predicate executor is there. Now there is an example scenarios like you want to build some dynamic product search query with filters. Let's say like category is there, price range is there, available is there, availability. Okay, you can join multiple entities like you have product also is there, you have category also there, you have supplier. So into the single types of query. Pagination sorter will be result will be used for this predicate executor. Now there are some reusable predicates which we'll be using for filtering like active or deleted, etc. You can use group by or aggregation queries in the QueryDSL, right? On the right side if you see dynamic product search, I have written the search product will take name and the minimum price, and then if you see the Q product over there, and then you will see the Boolean builder as well. Then you can add that particular details, the builder details over there, and then the conditions over there, and then you can actually query factory will call the select from product and wherever the condition, and then try to fetch that things. Okay, this is how we can write that query DSL. Now some auditing and soft delete. So you can actually you need to sometimes you need to track the changes. You need to logically delete the data instead of the physical data hard reset, right? Hard deletion. So what we can do at the rate created by we can make use, last modified we can make use. There is an audit where implementation. Soft delete via you can actually use where conditions where you can update some specific details or query delete. Okay. Example like automatically populating the data, right? Create by is there, updated fields is there. You can implement some tenant aware filtering mechanism in the multi-systems. You can stop delete the entities and exclude them from the query when you're trying to fetch the actual data. You can handle undelete or restore some operations. So whenever you require some thing to be restored, right, you can use that. You also can maintain the history, let's say what has been done previously with the custom auditable tables actually. Now how do you do that? We have at the rate configuration define anywhere to enable that auditing over there. You have to make use of that audited provider and then return that particular system details. So you can pull this data from the Spring security as well. Now how to do the entity setup? We have this particular annotation define SQL delete. You can define the where clause over there and set something details etc for that. Okay, now we can make use of the native queries which will result some mapping. Sometime when you are writing the raw SQL query for a performance or database specific logic, the mapping isn't going to be the very straightforward. Okay, so let's say you have the red query which is going to be native and then true. You can use SQL result set mapping, or you can have this particular constructor result set or the field result set. So you can map some joins and constructor structure also manually. Okay, let's say you want some native queries to be written, some joins between several tables, let's say that has to be mapped to a single DTO. Now you can execute some functions and also return some scalar values or some DTO. There is a usage of JSON functions, like in Postgre we can use, and we can map the output. Now you can use custom pagination logic. You can make use of the limit of the offset features, and also you can handle the complex query which is not possible with simple JPQL. Like CT is there, window function is there. Okay, on the right side if you see, I have written the repeat DTO, and then native query I have write the complex query over there, and I have written the native query is equal to true. And then, or you can make use of a JPL projection as well, like in the simple things over there. Performance tuning technique. Now do you have some large application, let's say you have well formed queries, like which is going to let's say you have not written the queries properly, so it is going to degrade your performance. So you can make use of the query plan. You can use explain in SQL. You can actually use at the rate batch size or fetch. You can actually avoid n+1 problem, which is an problem for it. You can index aware query writing. So there might be situation we want to optimize many to one situation fetching using the join fetch. Okay, we can match using the batch fetching for collection to reduce the select queries. There are some profiles slow queries, and also you can rewrite that particular with the better indexing and the native SQL queries. You can analyze which particular query is performing slow, and you can actually remove the bottleneck. You can also use read only in base to increase the high performance or number of high reads actually in your environment. Now if you see, we can make use of the at the rate batch size when you're using the one to many, and then you can actually make use of the join fetch. You should avoid the n+1 problem. Also you can use explain the SQL. Okay, now in the end I would like to tell you, like if you are using the advanced technique, this will definitely increase your productivity and also your database efficiency. Now one thing to note is that you should definitely know the abstraction versus low level query control, how to use that, how to avoid this particular n+1 pitfall problems, how to use this particular reusable, testable, and the composable query component. You should know which one to use, JPQL or criteria or a DSL native queries based on your needs. Okay, and you should be well structured. If this video was very helpful, please share it with the needy people. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you. Thank you for watching.